Hello friends and welcome into NFL Daily. I am your host Tom Downey. The first week of the NFL preseason, it is in the books, so let's hand out some winners and losers from the week one. Mostly winners, but there are indeed some losers as well. But we'll break it down here with the New York Giants and Daniel Jones, who was very, very impressive in week one. Only one drive, but it was a great one. 5 of 5, 67 yards, and a touchdown. I'm actually kind of surprised he didn't play more. I thought they would have given him more reps, but you know what, it's fine there. Really, the entire Giants backup quarterback department, Jones, Tanny, Lauletta, they were all great against the Jets. And yes, you can make the argument that, you know what, Daniel Jones, it was easy. There wasn't any pressure on him. The corner should have got his head on the touchdown pass. But let's be excited if you're a Giants fan about Daniel Jones. A very good start. Of course, as I often say, it only gets harder from here for Daniel Jones. I would have liked to see him more out there against the Jets. Now, if you follow me and you pay attention, you guys know I bet on the Giants to beat the Jets because Daniel Jones was going to play well. That's how the teams should be playing against backups. That's expected. I bet on the Giants. You could have made some money too. Chatsports.com/mybookie. Use promo code ChatNFL for a 100% deposit bonus. You put down $50, they'll match. Put down $100, they'll match that too. You can make money in the preseason games too. Chatsports.com/mybookie. Promo code ChatNFL. A surprise up next here, Paxton Lynch in the Paxton Lynch revenge game was actually really good. 11 of 15, 109, 2 touchdowns, one of which came on the ground. Against his old team, Lynch played really well. And with Geno Smith now hurt, at least for a little bit, Lynch might be the backup in Seattle. All right, speaking of backup quarterbacks, Ryan Tannehill. He only had 3 touchdowns. Maybe should have if Twan Taylor, it was underthrown. Hadn't dropped a pass. Tannehill had some other drops that he was plagued by as well. 12 of 16, 130 yards, 2 scores. Also shout out backup, or I guess third string, Logan Woodside. He also played very well for the Titans in this one. All right, the Chicago Bears. David Montogomery, yes, only 3 carries, but don't forget, 16 yards, had a nice touchdown run, and had 3 catches for 30 yards. All of that coming on just 13 snaps. So if you're a Bears fan, or you like fantasy football, there are some reasons to be excited on that front for David Montogomery. Now, do you guys like fantasy? Let me know in the comment section. Type Y for yes, type N for no. If we get enough yeses in there, or if you DM me on Twitter and say yes, maybe we'll do some Chat Sports Fantasy Leagues and or some content for you. So let me know in the comment section. Y for yes, N for no. For me, obviously, it's a yes. All right, the New England Patriots, who pounded Detroit. Jacoby Myers, look, he should have been drafted, and this is why. 6 catches for 69 yards, very nice stats there, and 2 scores. He was very effective. He's helping himself as he pushes to make the roster. I'll also make note, by the way, Chase Winovich played quite well, helping the pass rush for New England, which looked pretty solid against Detroit. All right, the Falcons and the Dolphins. Let's focus on Miami. Preston Williams, who had talent but tested badly at his pro day and had all kinds of off-the-field concerns. 4 catches, 97 yards on 5 targets. With the Dolphins' issues at wide receiver, just overall depth-wise, and really that entire team has some depth issues, watch out for Williams making this team. Another receiver, that's James Washington. 5 targets, 4 receptions, 84 yards, 1 touchdown. Had a great leaping grab earlier that, quite frankly, it should have been a touchdown. Like, he got past the safety, was just underthrown. Either way, a very good showing for James Washington. I'll also shout out Devin Bush here, who looked like a top 10 overall pick. Speaking of linebackers, how about Mack Wilson? 3 tackles, a couple of hurries, 2 interceptions, one of which went for a pick 6. He was targeted 3 times, picked off 2 of them. Frankly, among all the players in the NFL, I thought Mack Wilson had one of the best week 1s of any NFL player. Now, speaking of Mack Wilson and the draft, who will be the biggest steal from the 2019 NFL draft? I think you can make an argument for Mack Wilson based on early results only, of course. I also want to shout out, by the way, Greedy Williams, who had 1 busted coverage, but also an interception. So let me know in the comments section who you guys think will be the biggest steal from the NFL draft. All right, next up, Brian Burns. Only played 10 snaps, had 2 tackles, 2 sacks, and 2 tackles for loss. I mean, what more could you want there? The Panthers need Burns in their new base, and emphasis on base in quotes there. Their 3-4 defense, he looks sharp, as too did Marquise Haynes. All right, a former Panther next up here for the Philadelphia Eagles, Deshaun Hall. 6 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, a sack, plus 4 hurries for 5 pressures in total. He's fighting for a roster spot, and I'll make note, yes, it's the preseason. Let's not overreact. And yes, players like Deshaun Hall should be destroying backup offensive linemen. But they don't always do it. Hall did it. That gets him a winner. All right, the Denver Broncos, as they keep just finding pass rushers, Malik Reed and also Jeff Holland too, were very good. 5 hurries in this one, a sack and a tackle for loss. I was very impressed by Malik Reed's play. Also, shout out NFL Game Pass for your condensed versions. You guys are the best. All right, speaking of the best, that's us here at Chat Sports. If that's not even a humble brag, that's just an outright brag right there. But if you love the NFL, make sure you are subscribed to us here on YouTube. Let's get to 150K. And oh, by the way, we're going to keep pumping out more NFL coverage for you guys because it's here. This is the NFL preseason. We're going to focus in quite a bit on that. So make sure you guys are subscribed to us here on YouTube. Links below. But just hit that big red button and subscribe to us here on YouTube. All right, the Falcons-Dolphins back again here. Jermaine Grace, 5 tackles, 1 interception, was targeted 3 times. But overall, I thought he was very impressive in this one. He might just make the Falcons roster as a backup player. Moving now to another linebacker, a very common theme here, which I promise I didn't do intentionally either. Drue Tranquil of the LA Chargers, 5 tackles, and oh, by the way, fared well in coverage. He's going to make this team. I don't know if he's going to be an instant day one starter. I wouldn't anticipate him being that, but he'll make an impact at least on special teams. All right, the Ravens and the Jags. The Jags, spoiler alert, will be on our losers side of things. Cyrus Jones, and you could have made a strong one here for Bennett Jackson too. Also, I apologize if I left out your favorite player who had a big game. Just trying to go notable names here with one player per team. But Jones had a nice interception, a hurry, targeted 2 times. Maybe he could not be a bust. That'd be nice. All right, the Vikings and the Saints. Teddy Bridgewater. Smart, efficient, and effective. That's what you want. 14 of 19, 134 and a touchdown. He is the clear Saints backup in terms of if Breeze goes down, he plays at quarterback. But I will make note, Taysom Hill, who does get on the field, was also impressive in this one. Now, speaking of Teddy Two Gloves, is he the future for the Saints at quarterback? Type 1 for yes, 0 for no. I still consider myself one of the biggest Teddy Bridgewater truthers in the world, and I think, yes, he is the future at quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. But if you disagree, let me know in the comment section. Type 0 for no. Cardinals starters, let's just stick with our theme here of quarterbacks because that's what the preseason is the biggest key. Kyler Murray, he was good on his lone drive. 6 of 7, 44 yards, and yeah, had 1 completion, but didn't need a lot of reps there. But overall, I thought he was effective. He looked the part, and as I said for Daniel Jones, only gets tougher from here on out for Kyler Murray. All right, the Vikings, one of your true preseason overall winners so far. Hercules Mataafa, the undersized DT out of Washington State coming off an injury, listed at 254, has bulked up to 275, 3 tackles, 1 sack, 2 TFLs. He's a fun player to watch. I think he's going to make this team for Minnesota. Next up, Noah Spence, who had 3 hurries, should have had a sack, kind of missed one, in part because of a holding there, but drew that holding penalty. He looked good. With JPP out right now because of his injury, the Bucs need Noah Spence to step up. So far, through week 1 of the preseason, he's managed to do just that. All right, this one's weird to say. Nathan Peterman. Believe it or not, Nathan Peterman outplayed Mike Glennon. And yes, Peterman was going up against the true backups, the third stringers. But still, he was 9 of 12 for 66 yards and a touchdown and had a really cool 50-yard scamper. Therefore, guys, the Nathan Peterman meme dream, it might not be dead yet. Now, with that in mind for Peterman, who was the most disrespected NFL player? Let me know in the comments, because if we're being honest here, the amount of shit we give to Nathan Peterman, it's probably him, right? Like, all we do is just make fun of Nathan Peterman. He's still better than 99.9% of all people at football. But we give him a lot of grief, and, kind of deserves it at times. But maybe there are other players in mind, but if we're being honest, it's Probably Nathan Peterman or Daniel Jones, because all we do is just make fun of them. All right, the Niners, they're up next here. Jalen Hurd, 5 targets, 3 grabs, 2 of them went for scores. A tough path to playing time because the Niners do have some bodies at receiver, but Hurd has a chance to make an impact quickly in year 1 for the San Francisco 49ers. All right, the Dallas Cowboys, Blake Jarwin, not a great blocker, but he does give you ability as a seam stretcher and in the passing game. 4 catches, 51 yards on 5 targets. There was no Jason Witten in week 1 of the preseason, but he was very clearly better than Dalton Schultz. Chiefs rookie Darwin Thompson, he's up next here. Did a little bit of everything. Did some pass blocking and was better than expected, at least I thought. 5 carries, 22 yards, 1 reception. That one for a 29-yard score. With Damian Williams banged up, Carlos Hyde not offering a ton of the passing game, there's a role for Darwin Thompson on this team. Next up is Taylor Rapp, who, Tom, only 2 tackles, 1 pass breakup. Yeah, but Taylor Rapp didn't play much. Because when you're going to be a notable player, you don't always need to play a lot. I think Taylor Rapp ends up as a steal by the Rams. I was impressed of his early work, though, against the Raiders in a loss for LA. So who was your biggest Week 1 preseason winner? Let me know in the comments section. Feel free to mention a player that I did not. It's okay, that happens. I can't get to every player. Obviously, we left out a lot of winners there. So let me know in the comments section, who was your biggest preseason Week 1 winner? Now, in life, guys, there are losers. That's what happens. So let's talk about some of the notable losers from Week 1. The Detroit Lions, mostly their injuries. That was the big takeaway for me. Jermaine Kearse unfortunately broke his leg. You hate to see that, truly. Tom Savage has another concussion. That's a big deal. Lions got to be better. It was not a good showing in Week 1, but it's just Week 1 of the preseason. Nobody panic. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they are next up here. I think I flipped their overall mark, not 10-6. Oops, my bad. Anyway, look, the backup quarterbacks, I don't know how to say it, they were trash. They were horrible. They were absolutely horrible. Gardner Minshew, 7 of 14 for 46 yards. Alex Magoo was 3 of 8 for 19 yards. Like, that's not going to get the job done. And then Tanner Lee was 0 of 3 with 1 interception and 3 sacks. If Nick Foles goes down, based on what we saw in this one, they're in trouble. Like, that does not get the job done. In total, for net yards, that includes, you take away the sacks, 10 of 25, 44 yards, and a couple of interceptions. That's horrible. All right, the Houston Texans, they are next up here. And look, this is not a surprise if you pay attention. The Texans' offensive line has issues. I thought the guards were fine, frankly. I thought Titus Howard and Zach Fulton were good enough. And frankly, Max Sharping I thought was a solid player as well. Stop it with the tackles. You're making Titus Howard into a guard now for some reason. I don't really understand that. Matt Khalil, guess what? He's terrible. Central Henderson wasn't that good. David Steinmetz wasn't that good. Nick Martin was out. Greg Mance got hurt, by the way. I don't think we saw any of Julian Davenport. It's concerning. You're going to get Deshaun Watson killed. That's not a good thing. Houston, go trade for Trent Williams. Do it right now. Plug him in at left tackle. You will be much, much better off. Speaking of Trent Williams, his old team, the Redskins, Dwayne Haskins. Well, he looked like a rookie quarterback. Now, I will make note, most of his mistakes came after his first series. The narrative would be different if Haskins only played 1 series like Kyler Murray, like Daniel Jones. I did like the Redskins giving him more work. I'm okay with him being aggressive and trying to push the ball downfield more than he did at Ohio State. It is not panic time in Washington. Yes, he struggled. It's okay. He's a rookie. It's going to happen. He's a loser, but it's not, oh my God, Haskins is the worst quarterback ever. Speaking of quarterbacks, Jacoby Brissett, look, this is almost the entire Colts offense. They had 22 yards in 3 drives with Jacoby at the helm at quarterback. It's not all of his fault. It's just not. But 2 of 5 for 21, that's not good. Maybe you should be a little bit worried here about Andrew Luck's status as it comes off that calf injury. So with that in mind, what is your panic level right now on Andrew Luck's calf? Rate it for me on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm only going to put it like a 3. I think he's going to come back to practice soon. But if we've seen it before. If Luck can't go, that team is just not good enough. All right, next up, Mr. Tyree Jackson, the undrafted rookie, rated higher than number 6 overall pick Daniel Jones in Madden. Shocker here. Daniel Jones is better than Tyreek Jackson. One drop, but Jackson was 2 of 10 for 45 yards. It's not great. It's not great. Matt Barkley, clearly the better quarterback right now in Buffalo between those two. All right, Green Bay's Jamon Moore. You say, Tom, wait a minute, 2 of 7 for a touchdown. He caught a touchdown pass. Yeah, but he had 4 targets. He slipped once when he was wide open and then just dropped another one. Tough battle to make the roster in Green Bay at receiver. Jamon Moore is not helping himself. All right, Malik Jackson. This is just more of the same here. Box score says 3 tackles, or Malik Jefferson. I don't know why I said Malik Jackson. Malik Jefferson out of Texas. More of the same from him. He just doesn't see and read the game that well. It just doesn't work well enough for him. Great athlete, but has yet to develop on the mental processing side. I think it's tough to do in the NFL, but it continues to be more of the same for Malik. It's not great for him to being anything more than a backup right now in Cincinnati. All right, finally, Ben Braden, Jets offensive guard, fighting for a roster spot. Played the most snaps on Jets offense. 4 hurries, not great in the run game. I was unimpressed by his play. He kind of flashed in a negative way for me when I rewatched that game. Hopefully he gets better. There's some talent there, but not a great showing from Ben Braden. So who was your biggest preseason week 1 loser? Let me know in the comments section who you got in mind there. The Jags quarterbacks for me, that's just awful. You guys have to be out of there. But let me know what you guys think in the comments section.